Hi everyone. For today's book review, we're going to be checking out The Battle of Sydney Harbour, 1942. This is a beautifully illustrated book that I think wanted to be a graphic novel, because as you can see up here, there's plenty of wonderfully rendered images done in such a way that they could almost be storyboards for either a movie or, like I said, a graphic novel. But let's wind ourselves back here. Let's talk about the Battle of Sydney Harbour itself. On the 31st of May 1942, the sleeping citizens of Sydney Harbour were rudely awakened to the sound of gunfire and explosions. Midget submarines had managed to get through the defences and were attempting to attack the ships that were in the harbour. In the resulting confusion and battle and fighting, one ship was sunk, and that was the converted wooden ferry Cutterball, which was being used as an accommodation ship. Its wooden hull was no match for the firepower of a long-lance torpedo, and it was blown to smithereens, and unfortunately many of the people on board who were sleeping at the time lost their lives. The raid was a complete failure. The submarines were all destroyed, and one was relatively recently rediscovered. But it certainly brought home to Sydneysiders that World War II was real, and it wasn't just the north of the country that was being attacked. The enemy could attack right in the middle of their biggest harbour and their biggest city. And this book takes us through minute by minute of how this attack took place and what were the outcomes. This book is presented in two languages, in Japanese and in English. And based on its layout, it's aimed at tourists and younger readers, and people who may have just a passing interest. And certainly those who prefer to take their information through visual stimuli, this book is certainly appealing for that, because these renderings are wonderful. But again, it's more geared to younger readers and to those who just want a broad brush look of the events. For those who want a little more detail and more context about how this raid fit in with Japanese strategy, with the overall submarine warfare on the eastern seaboard of Australia in World War II, then may I recommend this book, Japanese Submarine Raiders 1942 by Stephen Carruthers. This one takes the raid and puts it into far more deeper context, and also looks at the Battle of Sydney Harbour in detail as well. But this book by Peter Gross, which has just been published, is a wonderful visual reference guide, and again, for those who are either new and have no idea about the fact that Sydney Harbour was even attacked in World War II, or for younger readers who are getting interested into naval matters of World War II, then this book is an absolute fantastic introduction for that, and for that it is 3 captain's hats. So, if you wish to learn more about the Battle of Sydney Harbour, do check it out.